Hello everybody, here we are, as I promised on my Instagram. I will share with you how do I scroll, read that we started working on these last days, Molin de la Roqueta. It's getting all the antiquing first part and it's getting beautiful. So many works going on here. At the end of this video we share what I'm used on the top. Now I will apply the preparation on the back, ribs and scroll. If you don't know me yet, my name is Sofia Vettori, and I make violins since I was 17, and the first thing that I did with my father was varnishing, because I learned from my father, that learned from his father. We are a violin making tradition, family tradition, I don't know how to say it, in Italy. So violin making has been all my life, together with knitting. I love knitting. My name is Sofia Vettori, and I'm so happy to share with you my daily life as a violin maker. And varnishing is the most exciting part, because it brings everything together, and it's like making the dress, and then also it's the final step before we will hear the instrument voice. So I'm so much excited about that, and I think the ground color is very important for a nice looking varnish instrument. Okay, let me finish this rib here. The cello is so much bigger than the violin. It's never ending. So this is already the third coat that I am applying, and okay, turn this like that. So the thing that I am applying here is tea, carbonate, pigments, and also some caramel to have this beautiful brown red color, that when it dries you will not see it as much. So I need to go. I'm not applying this one on the top yet. Tomorrow I will apply a coat of this also on the top, but right now I want to first have the oxidizer on the top working, and at the end, as soon as I finish to apply all this preparation on the back, I will share with you what I did this morning on the top. So stay with me. And I don't know how to hold this cello. All right. Okay, so that you can see something, because it's so big, it doesn't even enter on the screen. So I hope you can see something. And tomorrow I need also to cook some more varnish, because I'm finishing my spirit varnish, so we'll see if we're gonna do that also together. I like spirit varnish also because we can prepare our material by our own easily in our kitchen, so you don't need to rent a house in the woods far away from every human being, like when you cook oil. I love this little dot there. I have something like that also on the violin. So they're like brothers now. This one-piece cello, it's amazing. The model for this cello is the Stradivari Feuermann that Camille Thomas is playing, the original one. So I hope she will play this cello one day. That's my dream. Okay, so the back is all done. Now, so look how beautiful it's coming. Now I will go on, it's drying immediately. So this preparation is drying very quick because I don't want the cello to stay too wet. So right now, I'm finishing also. So as I'm varnishing, I can tell you the story of my family a little bit more. So my grandfather, I'm from Italy, from a little town. My family comes from a little town that is close to Florence, Firenze, and the little town is called Firenzuola. So it's in the middle of the mountain, the Apennines. And so my grandfather was playing the violin and the viola. And in 1935, he wanted to know how the violin was made. So then he opened, I think he had two violins, so he opened one of his violins to see how it was made inside. And then he found a book in the library of this little town. I mean, that like has like two reference, and also seeing how his violin was made, he managed to make one. Can you imagine? 1935. So there was nothing there. There was not even the telephone. Like they were really isolated. They were sending mails to people when they want to know news about somebody. And the first violin that my grandfather made ended up in the fireplace. This is the story that I'm telling my family. And then he became better and better, and he has a blacksmith friend in this little town. And then when he felt he needed to have a tool to do some part of the job, he was going there, and then they were working together to make the tool that my grandfather needed. So can you imagine how much easier it is for us now to learn how to make a violin, even if you don't know anything? Even if you don't know nobody that does it, with all the social media, you can really find so many information about that. So my grandfather really was determined to learn. And he was also very skilled. And so he also won some competition for violin making at the time. And during one of these competitions, was already famous at the time, violin maker Giuseppe Ornati from Milano, he noticed my grandfather's work and knew the story, so he wanted to meet him. And that's how they became friends. And I also have the varnish recipe from Ornati that Ornati directly gave to my grandfather. So we have all the cartage that was going on through my grandfather and Giuseppe Ornati, because as I said, at that time they were sending letters. So when you wanted to have a question answered, you were writing a letter and then waiting for weeks to get the reply back. And the beautiful story is that my grandfather passed the passion for making violins, violas and cellos, also to two of his sons. And one is my uncle Carlo, and the other one is my father Paolo. And that's how I learned. So I learned from my father Paolo because he learned from his father Dario. And together with me, my family, also my two brothers, that it's Dario II and Lapo, also are violin makers. And now I have my son, both of my son Cosimo and Dante, that are also start helping me in the workshop. So who knows, maybe they will be the fourth generation of violin makers to bring this tradition going and to have more art and beauty around the world. So this is the main reason why I'm sharing everything that I do instead of keeping my secret for me, because also like my family are saying, you don't share everything. I know I'm doing it because also varnishing is my thing. I was varnishing since I was 17, and of course, I'm still using my grandfather's recipe, but I also developed my own method. So what I'm doing is something that I made up with trials and experiments during all these years to try to improve. Because once they asked my father, which one is the best violin you ever made? And my father answered, I still have to make it, because we always want to improve and make the better instruments that we can. And here I just finished to go around everywhere on this cello. So thanks for being here with me. Now, did you see here it's already drying? So this is drying super fast. And let me share with you the thing that I use for oxidize for the top. So sometimes I go with the tea directly, but I didn't want to have the top too white. So this is the sodium nitrate 7% with water. You can use also potassium nitrite. Oh my god, I don't know how to pronounce that, but look at how is it spelled, okay? Because there are two types and one works, one not. Nitrito, in Italiano è nitrito di sodio. It's easier to find than nitrito di potassium. And it gets darker color, a little pinkish orange, but then it will fade down. And also tomorrow I can go with the tea on top here, and it will not invert. Invert means when the white line gets darker than the black line, and we don't want that. So this is why I am applying the oxidizer. Sometimes if I have more time to leave the cello at the sun to get a little bit darker, then you don't need to use the oxidizer. So it depends. Okay, I'm very tired to go to sleep. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for watching me preparing this cello. And now I go back to bed and sleep. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.